All right, so I guess we are live. Let me just do a cross check. All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to our weekly show, The U Turn. You know, this is the show where we help you to make U turns in your life from where you are to where you want to be. And how we do it? We do it by sharing knowledgeable content, by sharing great information, and by sharing great ideas and ideas that helps you to achieve the kind of results that you want to achieve in your life. And today we have an amazing session planned for you, and we are going to talk about overcoming mental blocks. When we talk about mental blocks, we have to understand that there are many kind of mental blocks. Some people have mental blocks when it comes to money. Some people have mental blocks when it comes to relationships. Some people have mental blocks when it comes to health, when it comes to job, or many different areas. Like, let me give you a couple of examples. Like, if we talk about relationships, many people have a mental block that I'm not that much good looking, nobody is going to like me, and that mental blocks keep them away from having conversation with the person with whom they want to have conversation. Now, if that has happened with you in the school, in the college, be frank and let me know in the chat box. Have you ever felt a crush on someone and then you didn't ask them because you were so much worried about what they're going to think about you? Or have you ever faced a situation in your job, when you feel like that you should get the promotion, but then you never ask your boss about it. You never ask your boss to give you a raise. And you was thinking maybe that's not the right time, maybe I haven't performed well. And even think about money. Have you ever thought about that? I don't deserve big money. It is okay for me to earn money here and there, but I cannot have huge money because I don't have this resource. I may not be having the right team. I may not be having the advanced strategies. Have you ever felt these kind of blocks? If you have felt these kind of blocks, my dear friends, today you are in the right environment at the right time. You know why? Because we are going to take you through a step by step process. And in that step by step process, first Shaker will be introducing you to the concept of mind, mental block. He will take you through certain ideas, certain concepts that you really need to understand before you can overpower your mental blocks. And then Shaker will share some practical ideas on how to make the U-turn. And then in the later part of the video, I'll be back again and I'll be talking about the three steps that are involved in the process of changing your mental blocks. So if you are ready to learn, type I am ready in the chat box and we are all set to go ahead with that. Shaker, over to you to take our audience towards the rest of the part of the video from this point onwards.
Let me share my screen. Just a moment.
Sure, Shaker. We can see the screen.
Okay. So, hello everyone, and welcome to our new show, The U-Turn. Today, in episode 13, we will be talking about mental blocks. And in today's agenda, first, we will start by learning about habits, how we form habits, and what can be categorized as a good habit or a bad habit. Then after that, we are going to have and look at the mental blocks. And by looking at the mental blocks, what we essentially have to do is come to a realization that nobody or no thing on the outside is actually blocking us from having whatever it is that we want to have, be it perfect health, abundance, or anything, any kind of happiness. It is us who are responsible for not having all the things that we want. And it is through our consciousness that when we make a change, that we will have anything it is that we want, any kind of thing. And then in the end, I'm going to give you the U-turn, the exact direction that you need to go in to have a disciplined mind. That's the U-turn that we are going to take tonight on this show. I'm going to show you how to have a disciplined mind. Once you have a disciplined mind, no mental blocks can ever bother you or hinder you from reaching your goals. To begin with, let's understand habits in brief. Now, Dr. Joseph Murphy says you form habit patterns in your subconscious mind by repeating a thought and act over and over again until it establishes tracks in the subconscious mind and becomes automatic, such as swimming, dancing, typing, walking, driving your car, etc. Now, think about swimming, dancing, typing, driving. When we start any one of these tasks, the first thing that we do is we pick up a couple of drills. First of all, we do all of these things because we are interested in them. It is because we want to learn to swim that we join swimming classes. It is because we want to dance that we join dancing classes. And then we are supplied with drills, small drills that we need to do on a daily basis. And then the coach checks how good it is that we are swimming, how good it is that we are dancing after the end of a week or 2 weeks, a month, or whatever. Now, in the same way, the way we keep on doing our drills of swimming, of dancing, of driving a car, we do it for more than 21 days to form a habit of doing it daily. And then we have to form another part of the habit, which is persistently being associated with that new habit we have formed. And only then we can express ourselves as better swimmers, better dancers. And in this way, what happens is whenever we get an idea from the outside, in the same process that we learn to swim, the way we learn to dance or to type or to drive a car, we unconsciously pick up a lot of emotions, a lot of thought patterns from our environment where we develop thinking that my business is not going to go the way I want it to go. Why? Because you hear someone else speaking like that. Why? Because they just heard on the news how their industry has got affected. And you, listening to their reaction, get emotionalized with them and their reactions and their thoughts. And it seeps down in your subconscious mind because you get emotionalized with it. And in this way, just the way we form habits of swimming, dancing, typing, walking, and driving, we also are forming habits unconsciously of getting involved with others' thought patterns on what they think about business, on what they think about literature or science or anything. And in this way, we form our opinion, which has actually been absorbed from the outside. We never thought about that subject. We just picked it up. And in this picking up from our environment, we have picked up a lot of habits that are just not taking us towards our goal. You see, the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person with respect to any task is that the successful person has a habitual way of thinking constructively about his or her business. Whereas the unsuccessful person is always in doubt about his or her business, always worrying about the business and taking actions out of fear in business. That's not how successful people run their business. You see, let me give you an example on how habits totally control the results that you have. It could be relationship, it could be business, it could be anything. Just have a look at your results and you will know what kind of habits you are indulged in. Let me give you an example. Let's take the example of a procrastinator. Now, usually what we have seen is procrastinators are indulged in bad habits. What I mean is they are indulged in habits which will never ever take them to their goal. And procrastinators usually miss all of their deadlines. And out of this, we can see that they keep themselves stuck in the same place for years and blaming everyone else on the outside that they were not able to achieve their goals because of this, and the list goes on. And what you will find is that they have certain habits because of which they procrastinate. They have a habit because of which they miss the deadlines. They have formed a habit of being stuck in the same place, even if they find themselves in the same place year after year after year. You see, it's the habit that keeps one into procrastination and makes one a procrastinator. And in this way, all the results will always go down or they will be stagnant. Whereas if you look at successful people around you, you will find that they are action takers. They have daily tasks to do so that they can get closer to their goals. Look at the top sellers, look at the top CEOs. They are famous for completing their task on or before the deadlines. And this is the only reason why they keep on experiencing growth with every passing year, because they are action takers. They are not procrastinators. The difference between an action taker and a procrastinator are habits. The procrastinator is in a constant habit of not doing things in a timely manner, in an orderly fashion, in a constructive way. Whereas the action taker has habits of putting his or her definite plan into action, whether they are ready or not. They are not afraid of taking calculated risks. They don't care if they fail in one or two of their tasks. It doesn't matter to them. They keep on continuing each and every single passing day because they have to meet a deadline. They are running a business and they want it to be successful. They want their staff to look upon them as leaders, as influencers, as inspiration. This is the only difference. Habits. Habits are the reason why we see someone as successful, and habits are the reason why we see someone as a procrastinator. The difference between a successful person and a failure, it just lies in habits. One person is habituated to taking actions and reaching their goal every single day, irrespective of what's happening on the outside. And one person picks up all excuses and criticizes everything that's happening on the outside and delays the entire process. So, this is how your habits are directly connected with your results. If you want to know whether your habits are good or bad, you should have a look at your results. If you do not have the results that you want, it means you have to establish tracks in your subconscious mind of good habits, and it will come through orderly thinking. Now, understanding how habits control our results, let's understand how mental blocks keep us away from reaching our goal. We are not able to meet our objectives because we are the ones who entertain the mental blocks, and then we block everything from ourselves. And when we do not have whatever it is that we want, we go outside and blame a person, a thing, a situation, or anything just to get that frustration out for not reaching the goal. But that's not how life is supposed to be. We are supposed to acknowledge the mental blocks. The mental blocks are thought patterns that gives you unlimited excuses on how you will not be able to reach your goal. You see, you entertain one mental block, the second one will crop up. You entertain two of them, four will crop up. And substantially, they will keep on cropping up. And before you could take the first action step towards your goal, you will actually be sitting and thinking, wait a second, why do I have to achieve this goal? It's impossible. I can't do it. Why do you suddenly think like that? Because of the mental blocks. You are the one entertaining the mental blocks. Look at the mental blocks that are there on the screen. It might not be necessary that you think of all these things, but what I'm trying to get across is there are certain thoughts going on in your mind repeatedly on a daily basis, whether you realize it or not, whether you acknowledge it or not. And these are the thought patterns that are keeping you stuck. If you ask a question to me that I am working hard every day, I am taking the action that is required to take every day, and yet I'm not reaching my goal, my answer would be very simple. Have a look at the mental blocks. They are the only ones who are blocking everything. But we cannot directly blame the mental blocks because why? We are the ones who entertain them. And we have the power to replace these mental blocks with successful thought patterns. But we have to make a decision. We have to come to a decision that we will sit down and acknowledge all the mental blocks that flash on the screen of our mind. Write it down somewhere. What's going to happen is you will start to understand all the thought patterns that were going on repeatedly in your mind, which were actually blocking everything. They were actually blocking you from taking the steps. And because you were not taking the steps, therefore you do not have whatever it is that you want. So you have the power to replace your mental blocks with successful thought patterns. Make a decision. Keep a check on whatever it is you say after saying, I am. Whether you are talking to yourself or whether you're talking to others. Every time you say a sentence that starts with I am, be a little bit cautious. Because whatever you keep saying after I am and keep on repeating it, as a thought pattern in your head, keep on speaking about it, getting emotionally involved with it, that is how your subconscious will pick up your feelings and go about to create your reality by making you meet certain people, by making you go and work for a certain project, by being recognized somewhere all of a sudden. That's how the subconscious mind works. And we, after studying the laws of the subconscious mind from the past couple of episodes, now we have an understanding that we should be very careful while composing sentences that start with I am. We have to be very careful and actually define what it is that we want to say after I am. You see, those are the successful thought patterns. You have to do it every day. Just the way we learn to ride a bicycle, to drive a car, learn swimming, dancing, anything, we do these little drills every day. So now is the time to do those little drills of installing successful thought patterns in our mind. But first, we have to acknowledge what those mental blocks are. Just pick up those mental blocks anytime you see that you are getting repetitive thoughts of something that is discouraging you from taking action to reach your goal. Those are your mental blocks. And what you have to do is, you don't have to resist those mental blocks. All you have to do is just write them down somewhere. And then what you do is write the exact opposite on the side. And then you start working with whatever the opposite you have written with respect to the mental blocks. So what we are doing is, we are not pushing the blocks away. We are replacing these blocks with successful thought patterns by being completely non-resistant. We are going to do only one thing throughout the day, and that is build habit of thinking in successful thought patterns. We will think about what it is that we would love to do every day from morning till night. It doesn't matter whatever I'm doing right now. I have to go through this time. But what matters is, what is the picture that I'm holding in my mind of the person that I want to become? Those are the things that we need to sit down and compose, because we have to start each and every sentence with I am, and then write the kind of reality that we would like to experience in the future, and then write it in the present tense as if it has already been fulfilled. These are successful thought patterns. These are the thought patterns that are going to encourage you, that are going to motivate you to take action steps every single day towards the accomplishment of your goal. To remove the mental blocks, we need to achieve a disciplined mind. First, we have to acknowledge what the mental blocks are. Now, this exercise cannot be done in one day. You have to spend about a day, 2, 3, 4. You have to come into a habit of recognizing your mental blocks. You have to come into a habit of, as soon as you recognize your mental blocks, you write an affirmation that is completely opposite to the mental block, and then you keep affirming that sentence over and over again to yourself throughout the day. But for this, we need to achieve a disciplined mind. And that is what I'm about to show you right now. Tonight, we are taking a U-turn and going in a direction where we are going to achieve a disciplined mind. Dr. Joseph Murphy says, when your attention wanders, bring it back to the contemplation of your good or goal. Make a habit of this. This is called disciplining the mind. This is what we need to achieve to make sure that mental blocks do not bother us anymore. Now, when we achieve a discipline in our mind, even people from the outside, even if they come and tell us what the situation of the economy is right now, we will be unshakable because we have a disciplined mind. A disciplined mind knows that if your subconscious mind creates your reality through the laws of the subconscious mind, then all that is required is a discipline of the mind, irrespective of where the market is heading. We don't have to be concerned about anything on the outside. We have to do all the work on the inside. And by inside, I mean consciousness. So you have this interest of running a business. And with this interest of business, you give all your attention to your business. Whether you are looking for a startup, whether you have an established business, whatever it is, give your complete attention throughout the day to your business. Contemplate only on your good or goal. And then your mental blocks from the past are going to flash on the screen of your mind. You see, it's your past habit. It's still lingering. It will be there. But you have to make a habit of catching these mental blocks, writing them down, and then writing the exact opposite as your affirmation, and then keep on repeating that affirmation over and over again throughout the day, knowing that you are in a psychological process of replacing your mental block. You will be disciplining your mind. In the beginning, it's going to be difficult. But as I said, if you keep on doing this every single day, after 21 days, you will come into a habit of doing it. And then beyond that, the only responsibility is to persist in this new good habit, in this new productive habit. That's the U turn we are taking tonight. And with that, I'd like to thank all of you for attending this section of the presentation. If you liked our today's video, please give us a thumbs up. What is it that you think about mental blocks? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you think somebody might obtain something valuable from this video, then please share this video with them. Subscribe to our official Human Potential and Growth YouTube channel so that every time we come live with valuable content that's going to change your life, you will be notified of it immediately. You can always call us or visit our official website to discuss your goals, dreams, or whatever big thing you have in store in your mind. And we will show you how to take a step-by-step process in a practical manner to really go ahead and achieve that dream. And on that note, I would like to pass it on over to Sukhveer. Over to you, Sukhveer.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shaker. That was a really valuable lesson we had today. Now, what I want to do is that I want to end this session by giving our audience the three steps, right? So let me tell them, because as they see on the video, the title is three steps to overcome mental blocks, right? But I want to ask a question to our audience, because you have already revealed the secret in between. Let's ask them a question that can they type in the chat box if they got some clues from you. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. Chat box if they got some clues from you. So we'll wait for couple of seconds and let's see what they type in. More than 20 minutes now, almost 22 minutes, right? So let's see what they have understood, because you have given them a lot of clues. Let's see who has the answer. I'm looking at the chat box, guys. You have an answer, because Shaker has already given you a step-by-step approach, and he also given a very valid point, which is the first step in overcoming your mental block. So let's see who knows the first step. What is the first step? Or I guess they're still thinking. So let's not wait more. Let's read it, right? So the first step, as Shaker said, you gotta acknowledge the fact that you're having a mental block. Because you see, until or unless you don't acknowledge the fact that you have a mental block, there are absolutely no chances that you will go ahead and end up changing your mind, right? But then, what is more important after acknowledging? Now, after acknowledging, in my understanding and in my opinion, you gotta learn how to forgive yourself. Now, I know Shaker is going to agree with me on that point. Shaker, can you share a few ideas with them that why forgiveness is important in the process of all?
Oh, yeah. Forgiveness is important because, first of all, forgiveness is a law. There is a law of forgiveness which requires us to forgive all the people in our life who have hurt us, who have said mean things to us, and whatever it is. Because every time we think about their comments and what they think about us, it is affecting our energy. It's not letting us move ahead in our life to do the things that we want to do. So we have this time that we have throughout the day with us 24 hours. So we have to find out how much of this time do we spend actually thinking about all the wrong things that have happened with us and all the wrong that other people have done to us. That is a wastage of time. Instead, what we as the students of mind should do is pick up three people who we think have hurt us and forgive them every single day through prayers. What's going to happen in the process is the law of forgiveness says once you forgive, you are forgiven. So that means that I raise myself to a higher vibration once I've forgiven. It's because I am no longer working with a mental block that is going to come back and disturb me while I'm working with my business goals. I'm not going to spend any time thinking about why did he say that to me. Whoever has any opinion regarding me can have it and keep it. I'm not here to convince anyone who I am and this is right or that is wrong. You can make any opinion about me and keep it. Okay, fine. An opinion of yours might disturb me. But what I need to do is, instead of going into an argument with you, what I'll try to do is I'll try to fade that thing off by forgiving you. And I do that by doing a prayer of forgiveness. In that way, what happens is I am trying to raise my level of vibration so that I can become a person who can give his entire attention only to the business, not about what others have said and not about what has happened with me in the past. You see, this is also a very big mental blockage, not being able to forgive others, which I haven't included in my presentation because my entire thing was to just introduce the mental blocks from a very surface point of view. But now going deep into it, I would say that if you have any unforgiving thoughts, floating in your mind towards any person, any situation, it's time to forgive them. It's time to let go, because when you forgive, you are forgiven. And when you indulge in the habit of forgiving people, what's going to happen is you are going to spend less and less time with what has happened with you in the past. That whole, the feeling of unjustified or something like that, that's a wastage of time. Those are wasteful thoughts. Those are not successful thought patterns. That he said that to me, she said that to me, I'm not able to do this because of him, because of her. Again, alibis. These are mental blocks.
Exactly.
Successful thought patterns are I am doing what it is I love to do to express myself. And I'm in a business where I create products and services just the way I want for my customer segment. These are the successful thought patterns that we should be busy with throughout the day. And yes, as Sukhveer pointed out, if we do not forgive people, if we have all those, lingering thoughts from the past disturbing our mind, then every time we sit with our business plan or revision of any strategy or anything, these thoughts are going to crop up in our mind and disturb us. We don't want that to happen. So begin your morning by doing forgiveness prayers, or you can do that in the afternoon or any time, but make a habit of forgiveness. Start by picking up three people. Do a prayer of forgiveness for the next 21 days continuously. And I promise you, you will rise up to a higher level of vibration. Less and less things from your environment will be disturbing you. Over to you, Sukhveer.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so the first step in the process of overcoming your mental block is acknowledgement. So tonight, go to a relaxed state, take a blank sheet of paper, and write down everything that you feel is holding you back right now. Be honest about yourself, because the more honest you are, the more better results you will receive. Then acknowledge the fact, forgive yourself, because remember, you may not even know from where you get that ending block. And it is none of your business to even figure out from where you get that negative block. So what is your business? Your business is to acknowledge the fact that you have a block and then work on that mental block and then change that block. And that's where the third step of the process comes in, which is rewrite your own life. We call it scripting, you may call it journaling, or you may call it, like Shaker said, repetition is very important. So what I'm going to suggest you today to do that, take a blank sheet of paper before you go to sleep and write down in very detailed manner what do you want in life, kind of life you want to live. If you feel like that you lack confidence, write the whole opposite. That I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm super confident in everything that I do. If you feel like that you always have a money challenge, write down that I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in huge quantities from multiple sources. in space. If you feel like that you have you have a challenge while communicating with people, write the opposite. That I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a very great communicator. I communicate with people so easily and effortlessly that and the words came from my mouth automatically. And follow the opposite. Because remember, even in the very first place, that mental block is existing in your mind just because of repetition. Either consciously or unconsciously, that belief has been planted into your mind again and again, maybe by your environment, your family, your genetic conditioning, or whatever. So understand the same way that mental block has been created will be the same way that mental block will be created. So work on that. And I want to thank every single one of you for being here in our video today. It has been a sensational session. So we are looking forward to see you all next week. And in the meanwhile, if you have loved our session, if you find it valuable, go ahead and share it with your friends, your family, or maybe every Thursday you can create a WhatsApp group, or maybe you can bring your family members together to your home if you can. Although there we cannot have gathering and all that stuff. So maybe you create a WhatsApp group every week, and you name it that the our U-turn hour. Create it as like maybe just like you have been watching Netflix series. Make it a habit. Just like the way every day you go to Netflix, watch your favorite show, and you share that with every single friend, irrespective of whether that friend is interested in knowing or not. Share the same about our YouTube show with everybody. Because there is a value that can shift not only your life, but the life of everyone around. So in the end, I want to say thank you to Shaker and everybody who has attended our show. And we'll catch you next week at the same time. Till then, take care and live the life the way you want it. Bye bye, everybody. See you next week. Thank you, Shaker.
Thank you, Sukhveer.